Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on YouTube. Dave here in the garage, back on the bomb truck, or carrying on with the bomb truck with some of the stuff that we need to get done on it. This go around, hoping to get the brakes pads done. Wouldn't mind having a look at those valve lash clearances, tappet clearances, whatever you want to call it. I can't remember the exact terminology for it. I haven't done that in a few years, so I'm going to have to do a bit of thinking about that. And yeah, got some plugs. My HT leads are on their way, apparently on the courier today to work, and it's a Saturday and I'm not at work, so I might get them till Monday, so that might be the next go round, maybe during the week. But anyway, let's get on it, get some wheels off and get this thing jacked up and have a look at these brakes for a start. Also, I wouldn't mind getting these wheels rebalanced because I've got a bit of a vibration. I've always had it since I put these wheels and tyres on, just under about 60 mile an hour, and then you drive through it and it goes away. But I don't like it, so I want to see if I can address that as well. Okay, so let's do it. First up, got to take these spider caps off so I can get to the wheel nuts. They've got little square head screws holding the cap on. It's a bit of a nuisance, but you know, that's how it is. Right, I'll get these off. Okay, if you haven't seen how these spider caps work, these plates just kind of seat just under. They're not actually like acting as a washer, they're kind of sitting kind of just under the lug nut, wheel nut sort of thing. And then the actual cap just, it's got these little self tappers that screw into those, or little machine screws, and that's all that holds them on. I reckon they look good. They're just a bit of a rinky-dink way of kind of putting them on, I guess, but I don't know how else you'd do it, but it works. Haven't lost one yet, which is good because they're expensive little things, but I didn't actually pay for these. A mate of mine gave them to me, so that was nice of him. He just didn't like the fact that I had ugly plastic rally wheel caps on this, so he found some spider caps second hand and he bought them and gave them to me, which was very generous of him. But yeah, so I've got to jack this thing up. Unfortunately, I've got to double jack it because my big jack's too big. So I'll just get this up in the air and get it on some stands and get these wheels off. Okay, so I started doing got the wheels off obviously, started doing the brakes on one side, and then thought I got an email alert from the couriers to say my leads had arrived at my work, so I thought I'll take these wheels in, get them balanced, shoot into town, go and pick up my leads. I thought while I'm out and about, I needed some tie wire and some R-clips and stuff, so I've got an oil filter and oil, so I thought I might as well do an oil change while we're here. So I was halfway through doing the brakes. Anyway, got one side done, did it the hard way, took the caliper off, then realised on these Series 2 Jag front ends, you don't actually have to take the caliper off. You can pull the brake pads with the caliper in situ. So wasted time, but now second time around I'll know what I'm doing, because it's been a few years since I've been into the brakes on this. So basically, at my knees, you just pull these two little R clips, pull these pins out, and then you can pull the actual whole pad out. What did I do with the other ones? They weren't actually that worn. Well, they are, but they're worn about halfway. There's still heaps of meat left on them. This side's a bit thinner by the looks of things, but they probably would have lasted at least another year in this thing anyway. But got the pads, gonna change them, can't hurt, you know, so unless I cock it up and end up with no brakes or something. But yeah. But anyway, so let's get at that and we'll whip these pads out. I don't have any specific insights onto doing it the right way or the wrong way or anything like that. I just do the pads. But I did note one of these pins, these R clips, was missing on the other side, and the pin was part of the way out. So part of the reason I wanted some R clips in that, I bought this little blister pack from the hardware store, but these are just too piss weak. They just push them on and they want to fall back off again. So I ended up using some Galv tie wire in the other pin. So hopefully that'll be all good and not have a brake pad fall out whilst travelling down the road, because that would really suck. Yeah, there's these other little spring clips in that kind of help keep everything under tension. So ideally those pins shouldn't back out. You should notice, well, I don't know whether you've noticed them or not. But yeah, enough talk. Let's just get these pads done, and then I might do that oil change while we got this thing up in the air, and then we might look at doing those valve thingammy jigabobs. I'll have to whip all the plugs and that out and do that. Yep. Whoa. Okay, so that's the old pads out. Sent these springs on a flying adventure. These are the new pads, a little bit different to the old ones. They got this groove down there. I don't know what that's for, but these are Bosch pads. I got them off Rock Auto. I think they were kind of on the higher end, kind of anti-squeak, anti-keep the dust down type of stuff from memory. I can't remember. I actually ordered them a 3 months ago. And I'm just getting around to doing this now because, you know, it sucks up a lot of time. But yeah, so it came with these pads came with a little bit of greasy stuff, so I'll put a little bit of grease on the back of the pads just to, I don't know, I've seen people do it. I can't remember why. I think it might stop them rattling or something, I don't know. But and a little bit on the pins before I put the pins back in, and yeah, that'll be the pads done. Probably should have given everything a good dosing with some brake lean, but I might do that now actually before I go too much further. I'll get something to catch all the mess and clean that up. Alrighty, so reconditioned those brake calipers about 7 years ago. I did recondition those calipers. They got new pistons, all new seals and all of that kind of stuff back when I kind of rebuilt all the front end, did all the bushes, wheel bearings, ball joints, all that kind of malarkey. What else did I do on the front end of this thing? I had to build shock towers and stuff like that, you know, for the modificating. What's that? I don't know. Like, you know, these Jag front ends, Jags and Daimlers, they're the same. The shock is normally mounted up into the wheel well type of thing on the Jag, so when you put one in as a kind of hot rod application, you got to build like some kind of shock tower captive thing. So that was my build, my fabrication on that. If you can see in there, I've got kind of gussets between the frame and the old kind of shock tower A-arm mount thingamy bob. They handle quite nice. A little bit kind of gooey. I did a rigid mount on this and notched it into the chassis about 15 millimeters, I think, at the front. And some people soft mount them where they use the original Jag mounting system and they just kind of bolt in and bolt out sort of thing, but there's a lot more kind of flex in them for that luxury car kind of vibe. I wanted it a bit tighter. That's why I kind of mentioned, I think in the last video, I wouldn't mind a heavier sway bar on the front, just to kind of, it still feels like it wallows a little bit in the corners, but it's also a little bit top heavy and stuff. But we're not looking for F1 car type stuff, just, you know, just so it doesn't feel like it's diving into the corners, you know, roundabouts and shit. Not like on the open road. It's actually kind of pretty good, I guess. I don't know what I'm expecting. But anyway, I've finished getting these ready and chuck these calipers back in. Try not to get greasy fingerprints all over the lens again, like I did last week. Sorry about that. Didn't really notice most of it until I was editing last week's video, but there's like lens flares everywhere. Okay, that's how simple it is to actually do the brake pads on these 4-pot bloody Jag Daimler calipers. Pretty straightforward. You'll notice I used a little bit of tie wire on that bottom one, on the bottom clip here, just because the circlip, the R-clip that was on there was actually like a modified split pin and it was pretty weak. Didn't, you know, feel like it was really grabbing in there, so I'd rather, you know, have that bit of tie wire. This is pretty sort of hardy stuff. We've still got the proper stainless R-clip in the top, so hopefully if we lose a pin it'll only be one. And yeah, so next up I'm going to dump the oil. I know you should dump the oil when the engine's hot and stuff, but I don't want the engine hot at the moment, so I'm going to do a cold oil change. The oil in here is not all that old, and it hasn't done a lot of miles, but I thought while we've got it up in the air, we'll just run it out, put a new filter in, and be done with it, you know. So take this jammer off to remind me that there's no oil in there. Ugh. It's a bit condensate-y. Actually, yeah. It's a good idea. Actually, I want to check, make sure there's not water in the oil too is the other reason. Just make sure it's not a heat gasket or anything that's making this thing run a little weird and use water. I haven't checked the water yet, the coolant that we put in last week. I haven't checked the level. I'll wait until the thing's back down on the ground and we'll do that then. Yeah? Yeah, okay, let's do it. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, I suck it. Damn it. Damn it. It's just a bit dirty, but just wrapping up the old exhaust wrap because my oil filter is kind of right above it and I don't want to get oil all over that heater wrap stuff and have it kind of be burning off for God knows how long. So that's hence this. I just got to remember to take this off so I don't end up with melted plastic all over my exhaust, because that would suck. It does look a little milky. I don't know. Yeah. Pre-fill the filter with some new oil. I'm not really liking the look of the oil that came out. It looks a little milky. That could be from, you know, condensation from lots of like stop starts moving in and out of the garage. Or there could be something more ominous going on. I'm just going to run it and find out, see if it gets worse. I'm not going to go pulling the heads off looking for head gaskets and stuff when I'm not sure that that's actually a thing. But yeah, I'll probably do it a bit more in there actually. I just use this Penrite oil. Seems to be alright. I think I've used it for a while in this truck. It's not a full mineral oil unfortunately, but it does have full zinc, which is kind of, I don't know, it's a semi-synthetic. I don't really want to be using synthetics, but the full mineral oils that they have at the car place I go to are real weird weights, if you know what I mean, like 30, 70 and stuff like that. It sounds like diff oil, but don't know whether it would be any good in a small block Chevrolet. Anyway, I'll chuck this filter in. Yep, there we go. Come on, get going, get in there. One thing you've got to make sure you do is make sure the old seal doesn't get stuck up in there and then you try and put a new filter up on top, because if you do that you end up just pumping oil out all over the ground. And I know this because I did it. The first oil change I did on this was before I put the guards and that back on. I just kind of did it by feel, and I put a new filter on, fired it up, you know, with new oil in it, and it was just pumping oil out all over the place. I couldn't figure out what was going on until I dumped it all again and pulled the filter off and realised I had two seals in there. So not the greatest. Go to another 3/4 of a turn or something. Yeah. So it's hard to do when you've got oil all over your hands and you're trying to tighten up a oil filter. Yeah. There it is. Alright, I can take this concoction off now. Okay, so I'm just having a little play with what's left in this drain pan. Doesn't appear to be any glitter or anything in there, so I was worried about like if there was a lifter or something going bad or a load going bad, I'd expect to see some shiny stuff in there. It's a little bit milky. Could be just because it's cold, because I'm doing a cold oil change, and I know, but I want to do the next part of my project today cold. So this oil change obviously isn't going to flush out a lot of the, you know, like stir it all up and then flush it out hot. Okay, battery died, but yeah, as I was saying, a lot of the, there's still a lot of kind of sludgy kind of shit come out. So, but yeah, that oil does look worse than I was expecting for how long it's been in there, unless it's been in there longer than I remember, if you know what I mean. Like, I thought I did an oil change maybe 6 months ago, but it could be 18 months ago. I haven't kept any records of when I did this. I just kind of do it once in a while when I think it's been a while, you know, because it doesn't do heaps of miles. It's more a time thing, and lately it's just been getting kind of zoomed in and out of the garage. Lots of kind of cold, short shocks, you know, which doesn't help with the plugs, doesn't help with the oil, doesn't help with condensation and shit like that. So that's what I'm hoping. Not enough hot running, just too much moving it around to get clear space in here to work. But yeah, so I'm just done the initial kind of fill on this. I need to get it back down onto level ground, let that run down, and then we can top it off, see where it's at, and go on to the next part of the maintenance on the old Area 50, not the Area 51, on the bomb truck. Okay, just taking a little detour with my knees from putting these wheels and tyres back on. I wanted to try something that someone suggested to me with these white walls that keep going brown wall, and that was just brake lean. Actually, they come up relatively easy, easier than anything I've used before. Doesn't bring them up like super white, but it definitely takes some of the browning away. My knees, so there we are. So like that's kind of what they were before. It's just this size, my back ones don't go quite so brown as my front tires for some strange reason, but the brake lean sort of definitely takes some of the brownness out of it. They do feel a bit like they've been soaked in lacquer thinners now though, but it worked. If you had kind of good quality white walls, it might make them a lot whiter. These are just kind of cheapies, but if it's a quick and easy way of kind of bringing the white back up a little bit, then I'm all for it. Might try one of those back wheels and see what it looks like. There's my knees. Alright, let's put these wheels back on. Already done the other side. And this little thing goes there. Okay, so just got to put the spider cap back on. I'm not going to clean it, sorry. But and enough cleaning with cleaning the old white walls, or the little
white lines. It's not a bad trick. I tried it on the rear tyres as well, which the whites always stay a little bit whiter than these front ones, and yeah, they came up a little bit cleaner, but definitely gets me about the same amount of white with way less elbow grease than I've done in the past, using, you know, different products and stuff to. Oh, that one doesn't feel good. You know, to clean the whites and scrub the whites using Scotch Brights and, you know, Scotch pads and all sorts of stuff, you know. Yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking. Just pinch these all up. Clean the whites on the spear as well, just for good measure. Is that going to stay in there? I do, hopefully. I always like to go around my wheels with the old, you know, the cross brace type thing, and just do that last little pinch up by hand. Just rattle guns, I never, you know, unless they're set to a torque spec, which I don't know what it is, it always feels like they're just all in. So I just kind of like pinch them all up with the rattle gun, and then I like to finish them off by hand. In case you're wondering why I was doing that, that's why. So wheels and tyres back on, check my oil, see where that's at, and then we might pull the plugs and see what's going on there. Got my plugs out. This is all the left bank or right bank, depending on which way you're looking at it. Left if we're looking at it from this direction, right if it's like front on. So this is number one, bit sooty. I don't know, like I can't read anything real obvious other than it's a bit sooty, but they're all kind of a bit the same. I don't know what the little tan on the electrode on the thing is all about. The gaps probably a bit tighter on that one. Some of the gaps look a bit, oh no, they're about the same. And that one there is probably a little sootier with less kind of lean burny bit at the little hooky thing. I can't remember what that's called. It's not the electrode, is it? It's the, I don't know, the earth part of the circuit. The other bank pretty much the same, just as sooty, which, you know, implies a rich environment, I guess. But these plugs have been through a hell of a lot, like, so they don't probably give a real accurate read of what it's doing right now, because there's been some stuff that happened when I first put this motor in. It overran one day and it just carboned the crap out of everything. So those plugs, and that's the same plugs that were in it. So this, yeah, can't really tell too much from that, but yeah, just had to make a special tool to get number 8 plug out, because it's like right in line with my drive shaft. So I just ended up cutting down another spark plug spanner and having to use a spanner on it to get it out. But you got to do what you got to do. So it took me quite a while to figure that little problem out. But now I'm going to take my rocker covers off, and we'll start having a look at the rocker preload, I think it is what the word we're looking for. Is that right? Yeah? I can't remember. Lash clearances, whatever. It's a preload, I think, because you kind of like get your tension, and then you crank it down another half a turn or 3/4 of a turn or something, quarter to a half, 3. Don't quote me on any of this. I've got to check it out properly again. But yeah, so let's get these things off. Hey guys,
yeah, I don't really know what to say. I'm just, yeah, I'm a little flat at the moment. I know I'm laughing, but that just, it's better to laugh than cry, put it that way. Yeah, sludge, milky sludge. Obviously there's more to what I found in the oil than what I thought. And there she is. She's, yeah. Hopefully not a head gasket, it may just be an intake thing, which I did have a water leak at the back of my intake a while ago, right? And it was, I kind of went round and I retorqued the intake back then, and because the intake was quite loose, so I actually bought gaskets for that ages ago, and I thought, oh, yeah, I managed to stop it leaking, so I probably just moved the leak internally. I did kind of think that there was quite a lot of oil came out when I did that change, and I filled up the old oil bottle sort of thing, and it kind of filled it up full 6 litres of fluid went into the waste bottle. So I can't smell antifreeze in it though, but it just smells like old oil. So yeah, I might damn it. Oh well, I'm gonna set about draining all the coolant out again, and taking the alternator off again, and I'll set about taking the intake off, I guess, and just see where that takes us. And if we have to go deeper, then we have to go deeper, unfortunately. And I've got a lot of cleaning of sludgy shit to do, so yeah. And then I wasted that new oil and filter most likely, so mind you, once it's all done, and if it's just an intake, I can probably run it up, sort of flush it with that oil, dump that oil hot, and hopefully flush any coolant and stuff out of it. You reckon? Well, won't get this finished in this video, so I guess that's it for this one. The bomb truck is broken, so I fixed some stuff, and now we have some more broken stuff, and yeah, so there we have it. I don't really know what else to say. I didn't even get to test my balancing of my tyres and my new brake pads and stuff. Yeah. Well guys, that's where I'm going to leave this video, because like I think I just need to go and have a quiet beer and a little self-reflection, quiet time. Yeah, like I said, it could be as little as intake gaskets, or it could be as much as head gaskets. Could be a crack somewhere, don't know. Hopefully not. But yeah, so next video, going to start tearing down, start from the top, and I'll work my way down, and start with pulling the intake, and then see where that takes me. And it could be as far as heads off and things like that. Hopefully not. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the button. It'll be down here somewhere. I think I've finally worked out where the button is when I do that, pointing at my wood saw. And yeah, oh, what a bummer, but tis what it is. It just means I gotta take everything off that I just put back on in the last video, and yeah. So bomb truck's getting a little bit more attention than I was anticipating, so yeah, we'll just forge ahead, I guess. But yeah, that's it for this one. Till next time, take it easy and peace.